While most of us know about Mughal monuments, of which the Taj Mahal in Agra is, of course, the most famous, not many of us know about Mughal styled gardens, which is one of the many garden types you'll see in the world and one of the prominent garden styles you'll find in India. Let's find out more about Mughal gardens in this episode of Tree Talk. In the previous episode, we spoke about the various types of gardens you find in the world, like the English gardens, the French gardens, the Japanese gardens, and so on. If you haven't seen that, this is the episode and you'll find a link to it below. One of the many types of gardens that I mentioned were the Mughal style gardens, which you find in my country, India. And in this episode, we're going to look at the Mughal gardens in a little bit of detail. The Mughal gardens are called the Char Bagh style of gardens in India. Char meaning four and Bagh meaning garden, and that is because the garden is divided essentially into four main parts.
The Garden of Eden, described in the book of Genesis, is believed to be God's contemplation of perfection and was possibly the inspiration for the idea of gardens in Abrahamic religions. The Quran, for instance, has this notion of paradise as a garden, with references to Jannat al-Firdaus, or the gardens of paradise. In Persian, there is a concept of Hasht Bihisht, meaning 8 heavens. It is a garden with a geometric plan, pavilions and mausoleums comprising a central square divided into 9 sections. It is also supposed to represent the astrological concept of 8 planets corresponding to 8 heavens. When the Mughals came to India, they brought along this idea with them in what is therefore called the Mughal style gardens.
I'm standing now in front of the Humayun's tomb in New Delhi, and it is said that the Humayun's tomb is perhaps the first mausoleum or tomb that was set in the Charbagh style of garden. With the main monument in the center, the entire space is divided into 4 quadrants on 4 sides of the main monument, and each of those 4 quadrants form a garden. And each of those 4 parts are further divided into 4 sections with the help of raised platforms and pools of water. And this is what gives it the name Char Bagh, or 4 gardens.
The essence and beauty of this style of garden, called the Char Bagh, is its spiritual importance as a symbol of paradise through geometry, flowing water, and so on. The garden is divided by 4 channels of flowing water representing the 4 rivers of the Quranic paradise. The Mughals are said to have spent considerable time in these gardens conducting court, entertaining, meeting with family, feasting, and so on. The Babarnama, for instance, mentions Babur's love for Kabul, including the gardens and the trees there. One of the hallmarks of the Char Bagh is the 4-part layout with axial paths that intersect at the center. You will also find beautiful walkways that divide the Char Bagh sections into smaller parts. Water and shade play an important role in Mughal gardens. Running streams of water and fountains were greatly valued in hot and humid weather. Ornate pavilions and fruit trees that dotted these gardens provide shade from the heat. Water systems provided running water for these streams and pools. These pools also reflected the monuments in the garden, which created a stunning effect. The design of some of these water pools is quite ingenious. You have to stop and listen in silence to hear the water trickling along. The design manages to create a very pleasant sound.
While I don't live in Delhi, I love this city. I find it very interesting, fascinating, and exciting. And every time I'm here, I try and explore a different part of the city. And this time, I'm using this lovely book called 14 Historical Walks of Delhi by Swapna Liddle. One of the walks is set here in the Humayun's tomb and garden. And the author mentions that at the time the tomb was constructed, the gardens were perhaps not as you see them today. The Mughals preferred planting fruit trees like mango and so on. And the garden would have had far more fruit trees, and it would not have had such a large expanse of grass.
So it appears that the British cut down many trees, and land with lush vegetation was often cleared to be replaced with open grassy lawn in order to improve visibility and prevent further attacks after they suffered the revolt of 1857. Now that calls for an entire new episode.
Well, so the next time you're visiting a Mughal monument, before you rush in to see it and photograph it, do pause in the gardens, the lovely outdoors, enjoy the experience of being amidst the trees, enjoy the pools of water and the shade and the sound of flowing water. It creates a lovely ambience, and it is a part of experiencing a Mughal monument. If you enjoyed this episode, do check out some of the other episodes on the channel, do share this with friends and subscribe to stay posted.